Welcome to our channel. Today, we invite you to follow a touching story of love, sacrifice, and family, the journey of James and Diep as they overcome all obstacles to be together and welcome their first little angel. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss out on more meaningful stories to come. After countless storms, happiness has finally smiled upon James and Diep. There were moments when it seemed like they would lose each other buried beneath misunderstandings that felt impossible to resolve. The cautious glances from James's family and the emotional scars Diep carried from her past. Every step they took together was a battle not only against the world, but also against the quiet fears hidden deep within their own hearts. James, a man once accustomed to making cold, calculated decisions, learned to place love above ambition. And Diep, the woman who had been hurt so deeply, she no longer dared to dream of happiness, finally opened her heart, believing she was worthy of being loved and protected. Through unwavering commitment, through holding hands tightly in the midst of life's storms, and through the gentle gazes exchanged in moments of weariness, they proved that love is not just a fleeting emotion, but a conscious choice made again and again, every day, every hour, every moment. And then, after everything, they welcomed the most priceless gift of all, the birth of their first child, the precious result of a love that had weathered countless trials. From the moment James found out Diep was pregnant, he seemed to become a completely different man. The once busy CEO, always caught up in boardroom meetings and multi-million-dollar deals, now transformed into a devoted husband, tender and attentive in every little detail. He willingly set aside his work to accompany Diep to every prenatal checkup, carefully jotting down the doctor's instructions and reminding her daily to take her vitamins right on time. Each morning, he woke earlier than usual to prepare nutritious meals for her. Dishes he once overlooked now carried the weight of his love, sometimes a gently simmered bowl of chicken porridge, other times just a perfectly warm glass of milk. In the evenings, even with work piling up, James never failed to massage Diep's back, gently lay his hand on her belly to feel their baby's tiny kicks, and whisper sweet words of love to both mother and child. "You've already been through so much. Let me take care of you and our baby. All I wish is to wake up each day seeing your smile, and knowing our child is growing safely inside you." As for Diep, even amidst the fatigue of morning sickness or sleepless nights, just turning to see James beside her with eyes full of worry, yet filled with warmth, was enough to remind her she was no longer alone. For the first time in her life, she truly felt what it meant to have a family, a place of love, of shared burdens, and of a future quietly blossoming with every breath they took together. At the hospital, after welcoming their newborn into the world, James barely slept a wink all night. In the softly lit room, the warm yellow glow cast gentle shadows on Diep's pale yet radiant face. She was fast asleep, exhausted from the pain of childbirth, yet peaceful, cradled by the love that surrounded her. James sat by the bedside, one arm holding their baby bundled in soft blankets, the other gently brushing strands of sweat-dampened hair from Diep's forehead. He said nothing, just sat there in quiet awe, watching over the two most precious souls in his life, afraid that if he looked away, this moment would vanish like a dream. "You were amazing. I've never been prouder of anything in my life," he whispered, even though she was still unconscious. By dawn, James had already made a bottle of formula, learned to change diapers, and clumsily wiped the baby down with a warm towel. His every move was awkward and unfamiliar, but filled with love. When Diep finally awoke, the first thing she saw was James gently rocking their child, humming lullabies with words barely formed. Seeing her eyes open, he laid the baby in the crib, came to her side, and gently took her hand. "How are you feeling? Are you in a lot of pain? The doctor said you need plenty of rest. Let me take care of the baby." Diep gave him a faint smile, her eyes brimming with tears. In that moment, she realized this man in front of her wasn't just her husband. He was a father in the truest sense, mature, warm, and ready to sacrifice everything for his family. Throughout their stay at the hospital, James never left her side. He helped her sit up, fed her spoonfuls of porridge, and called for the nurse whenever she so much as winced in pain. Even when she slept, he stayed utterly silent, afraid to disturb her rare, fragile moments of rest. When James's parents came to see their grandchild, his mother caught sight of him tending to Diep with a tenderness she had never imagined. She turned away quietly, wiping away tears of happiness. In that instant, she knew Diep didn't just have a loving husband. She had found a steady, unwavering partner to walk beside her for the rest of her life. When Diep returned home to rest after giving birth, she was lovingly cared for by James's mother. Every meal, bowl of porridge, and warm glass of milk was prepared by her own hands without needing a reminder. She followed a strict schedule, selected only clean, fresh ingredients, simmered nourishing soups, and even brewed herbal baths for Diep, tending to her like she would her own daughter. Sitting beside her one afternoon, gently stroking Diep's hair, she spoke softly. "You've been through so much. From now on, this is your home." A simple sentence, yet it carried with it acceptance, protection, and compassion. It was everything Diep had longed for during her years of loneliness and hurt. No longer was she an outsider stepping into a wealthy, powerful family. She was one of them now. Not just James's wife, but his mother's daughter, the mother of their grandchild, and a woman deeply loved and cherished. Love, understanding, and trust, these invisible but unbreakable threads had bound together hearts that once seemed distant, transforming them into a true family. James was no longer just a devoted husband, he had become a model father. He didn't hesitate to change diapers, rock the baby to sleep, warm bottles in the middle of the night, and rush to Diep's side whenever she felt unwell. His eyes always followed her, this woman who had endured every storm with him, now glowing with peace and quiet joy by his side. As for Diep, once a woman burdened with too many emotional scars, she had grown into a gentle yet resilient mother. Her face now shone with fulfillment, not from wealth or comfort, but from something far more sacred, a home of her own, a loving husband, a precious child, and a mother-in-law who truly understood and embraced her. Thank you for staying with us until the end of this story. James, Diep, and their little family are living proof that true love can overcome all storms. If this story brought warmth to your heart, don't forget to subscribe and share the video to spread the love. See you in the next one.
Xin chào tất cả mọi người. Cảm ơn mọi người vì đã theo dõi hết video của mình nha. Và mọi người ơi, trong diễn biến của tập hôm nay thì cũng có những niềm vui, những niềm bất ngờ, nhưng mà xen lẫn ở đó giữa tình yêu của Diep và Diệp thì thực sự nó còn rất là nhiều thử thách. Không phải là nó chỉ đơn giản như vậy. Và cốt truyện của bộ phim này cũng như cốt truyện về tình cảm của Diep và Diệp còn kéo dài và rất là nhiều tập nữa. Thế nên mọi người đừng bỏ lỡ bất kỳ tập nào mọi người nhé. Nếu như mọi người thấy video hay và hấp dẫn thì mọi người hãy nhớ like, share để video và kênh mình được phát triển hơn. Và mọi người nhớ subscribe kênh để không bỏ lỡ bất kỳ video nào mà kênh mình ra. Và mọi người ơi, nếu như mà mọi người có ý kiến hay là góp ý gì để cho kênh mình càng ngày càng trở nên tốt đẹp và hoàn thiện hơn thì mọi người có thể để lại bình luận về suy nghĩ của mình ở phần comment mọi người nhé. Và bây giờ mình xin phép chào tạm biệt mọi người. Chúc mọi người một ngày thật vui vẻ hạnh phúc và hẹn gặp lại mọi người ở video tiếp theo nha.